In 1997, Kuwaiti singer Noura Al-Taqaqa experienced one of the strangest and most terrifying events of her life. Noura, who was famous for performing at weddings and family events, decided to retire from singing after this bizarre incident with her musical band. Noura was widely popular in the mid-90s, performing at numerous weddings across the Arab world. She traveled with her six-member band, known for their skill in delivering traditional melodies. The eerie incident began when Noura received a call from a woman requesting her to perform at her daughter's wedding. Initially, Noura declined due to it being her day off. However, the woman insisted, claiming her daughter was a huge fan of Noura and would cancel the wedding if she didn't attend. After a long conversation, Noura accepted the invitation, and the party was scheduled for 10 o'clock at night. The woman provided the house address. As the party approached, Noura felt uneasy and had doubts about the invitation. She considered canceling, but ultimately decided to go since she had promised the woman and felt sorry for her daughter. Noura took her band and headed to the address where the event was to be held. Upon arriving, Noura and her band were astonished by what they saw. The house was extremely luxurious, resembling a royal palace filled with lights and decorations and bustling with guests. The bride's father welcomed them warmly and led them inside the house. The bride's mother took Noura and her band to a room to get ready. During this time, a large, pale woman with a rough texture and a deep, incomprehensible voice entered and then left. One of the girls in the band felt uneasy in that place, but they continued preparing for the event. Entering the party hall, Noura was surprised by the large number of guests and the opulent hall reflecting the family's wealth. Noura and her band began singing, and the guests danced energetically. Occasionally, women from the guests would come to greet them and request songs. One of the band members noticed that the women's skin was rough and hard, like stone, which puzzled and frightened her. Noura reassured her that it was just fatigue from dancing. As time passed, the hall filled with people who demanded the band to keep singing louder. The band began to feel exhausted and frightened by this strange event. One band member noticed animal legs under the guests' clothes, some incomplete, and was horrified by what she saw, exchanging looks with the band girls. Fear appeared on their faces, and their voices trembled with terror. One member fainted from the sheer panic, and Noura rushed to help her, sprinkling water on her. Some women from the guests came to check on her, but Noura assured them she was fine and that they would continue singing. The girl regained consciousness, and then Noura, with a trembling voice, said, "I also saw that. I knew from the start they weren't normal, but I didn't want to scare you. We are singing for Jinn, and we can't escape. We have to keep singing until the dawn call to prayer, because the Jinn flee when they hear the adhan." The band returned to singing amidst the noise filling the place. The guests danced hysterically, while the band felt extreme fear and exhaustion. The girls cried from sheer terror as they sang for these insane beings with animal legs and pale faces. When the band tried to stop for a break, the guests demanded they continue. The party went on until the dawn call to prayer. Suddenly, the power went out, and everything went silent. Darkness and eerie calm filled the place. Noura shouted, "Run!" and the band ran towards the main door, which was lit by moonlight. They exited the house, and Noura looked back to see the house dark and silent. As they ran down the street, an elderly man on his way to the mosque stopped them. He asked Noura why they were there at that time, dressed like that, and she told him what had happened. The man was shocked by what he heard and sought refuge in God, then told her that the house had been abandoned for 10 years and was inhabited by Jinn. The villagers often heard noises and strange sounds from it, but when they checked, it was empty. He added, "What you saw was a Jinn wedding, and all the guests were not human. When Jinn take human form, they are incomplete, appearing as deformed humans or half-human, half-animal." Noura and her band were stunned by what the man said. She looked back at the house again and saw it indeed abandoned, with crumbling and fragile walls, nothing like the house she had gone to perform at. Since that incident, Noura and her band decided to retire from singing forever, and her voice was never heard again, as the horror she experienced was beyond what anyone could endure or imagine, no matter how described.